The SOMO Racing League is on the air, live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brought to you in conjunction with Bofa Broadcasting and Portside Land Rover Jaguar, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Going Trapasso up the booth with you. Joined with me is my partners in crime, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, and joining us tonight, Mr. Tyler Vickery. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Let's just say I had to rush home from a bowling league, but I'm excited for this race. It's going to be fun.
Well, it's been a hell of a day for all of us. Sam over in Ireland is getting snowed in. I had some hardware removed from my leg. And what a day to kick off our inaugural broadcast with the SOMO Racing League. Their Cup Series taken to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 155 laps of scheduled distance tonight. Sam's going to be working the cameras for us. You just bear with us, folks, because Sam's exhausted. I'm still recovering from anesthesia, and Tyler, the young gunner, is probably going to shoulder most of the load tonight. Quick rundown of the starting grid. Seth Hatchell starting up on the point, joined with Braden Johnson, Chris Simmerd, and Keith Mayato. I hope I'm saying that right, Keith. If I'm not saying that right, Keith, feel free to put me on blast. Adam Parker and Shane Papala make up row number 3. Row 4 is going to go to Joe Mitchell and Ryan Gemel. Yeah. Kurt Davidson and Robin Melvin making up row number 5. Row 6 is going to be Tom Clayton and Tyler Clough. With Johnny, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name there.
I think it's Johnny McCulshaw.
Sure, we'll go with that. John, again, if you change your name, feel free. He's going to be joined in row number 7 with Jeff Glockner. Len McNeese and David Gainsforth are going to make up row number 8, with row 9 going to Jim Locking and Aaron Mulrooney Jr. Row number 10 is going to see Brian Neff and Jeff Sharp, with league owner Paul Zoda and Jeffrey Ford making up row number 11. Ron Hollingsfield and Jay Dubuque are in row number 12, with Justin Rogers starting shotgun on the field. So 25 cars scheduled to go off on this one. Pace car getting ready to roll it in. And as the field's making its way through the backside of the 3-4 complex, pull those belts tight, kids. Here we go. Pace car is in. Hatchell pulls the trigger.
Looks like second place just fell asleep at the line there.
I'm thinking it was better safe than pregnant. I mean, sorry. As far as that goes, because again, we were told just before the broadcast started that there are no fast repairs, and we will be breaking these down into segments tonight of 45 laps for the first 2 segments. So at lap 45 and lap 90, as we're already 3 wide for right around the number 5 spot.
Yeah, I'm here. Just carry on, guys. I'll be with you in 10 seconds.
Yeah, keep an eye on other battles going on. Further back right now, there's a nice little 3-car battle for 11 between the 08 Johnny McCullough, Tom Clayton, and Tyler Puff right now. Just looks like it's starting to fizzle out again, but there's some good battles going on in the back as well.
Yeah, Tyler, make sure you're live, bud.
I was just delayed there myself.
So right now the battle is really heating up for second place, as you got Simmerd has it, and there's a bunch of angry dogs behind him, with Braden Johnson right on his back bumper. The 36 of Braden Johnson to the inside. It's the 09 of Mayato right on Simmerd's back bumper, as they're starting to get single file. Looks like everybody's starting to find their groove, and we should see a pretty decent run starting to form here. They're still 2 by 2 with Grammel and the 18 of Mitchell going side by side as we're watching them work their way through the 3-4 complex right now.
Yeah, further on in the back to 95, and Jeffrey Ford had a little run in earlier, just a lap ago. I'm just keeping an eye on this back. There's still some pretty good battles here from the 15th on to 22nd so far. Some really decent battles. Looks like they're starting to straighten themselves out now.
They are, and we have some pretty decent action going on. I would like to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Portside Jaguar Land Rover. They are a full-service repair center focused on offering personalized quality service to every customer. They don't just work on your brand new Jaguar or Land Rover. Their technicians are very comfortable working on your old Ford. So if you are in the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area, go ahead and pop on over to Portside Automotive the next time your car needs some help.
Right, I should be here now. Should be.
There he is, my brother from another mother from across the pond, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, finally being able to get his breath back after having to shovel the driveway earlier today. Something y'all over there in the Emerald Isle aren't quite used to.
No, we're not used to it at all. It's like we've got the beast from the east coming from Scandinavia, and it's not a very pleasant beast either. Anyway, let's get back to the race at hand. We've got the number 8 of Seth Hatchell. Got off to an early, big lead early on, but he's being caught by the the chasing pack now.
Yeah, so far right now, Seth's holding a 0.3 of a second gap. Top 5 in general is only 0.8 of a second difference as 6th place is trying to reel them in. Actually now on the latest lap times, only another 1/10 of a second behind them.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm looking at the battle going on the track. Throw a blanket over the top 4, and they're starting to gap 5th. So from Braden Johnson to Adam Baker, you're starting to see that gap steadily increase as the laps go on.
Looking further back, it looks like everyone else is starting to go single file as well. There was some earlier battles way in the back. I mean, roughly in the from 20th on back, but I think they're starting to settle down as well. Looking back towards the leaders is going to be a really, really interesting battle. Number 8 starting to pull away again.
Well, Paul did tell us, too, that the segments are going to be 45 laps apiece, but you can only make it about 35 laps on fuel. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting strategies. I mean, who can constantly save fuel, which, I mean, it's going to be more based on who's going to make the right pit stop at the right time. I mean, if a caution comes out with that end stage early as well, I mean, anything can happen, especially with stage racing. But it brings out some of the very best battles that come near the end of a stage.
Meanwhile, sorry, Tony. We're looking back at the second pack now. We're looking at the battle between Keith Mayato, Braden Johnson and Chris Simard. They are absolutely nose to tail right now as they make their way through 1 and 2, I believe. Yep, coming out of the back straightaway right now. As they finally got that sorted out, they definitely did not start that lap the way that they ended it. Absolutely not, and they are all in single file right now as they make their way through the triangle and into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, we are. Let me say that Simard maybe has burned all the goodie off his tires, as we are currently working lap 13 of 155. Absolutely, and remember we've got 3 stages in this race, as Tony's already alluded to. Lap 45 is when the first caution comes out for the end of the first stage, and it looks like the second pack is starting to catch the top 4 now. They are. Grimali has gotten by Baker Gremmel has gotten. Gemmel
Ryan, I am sorry. Feel free to just go ahead and put me right on blast on feel free. Sorry. But Gemmel has gotten by Baker, and he's starting to reel in Simmer.
Absolutely. As we're looking back further in the pack, everybody is absolutely nose to tail right now. They're all single file. Let's go back to the number 84 of Liam McNeese. He's with the number 34 right now. No, he's behind the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. As we've got someone in the wall.
And we got a.
That's the 07.
Saved it. I don't know which pink car it was, but that was a heck of a save coming back, back up on the track.
Aaron Mulrooney Jr.
Mulrooney. Yeah. Flying the Superflow colors tonight.
Oh, we've got the 08. That's got some significant damage. Getting up to speed again, but that front end is completely torn off. Let's go and have a look back at what happened to him. Going through turns 1 and 2 on that outside line. Gets it all wrong, hits the wall, gets into Mulrooney, and he just locks it down and smacks the wall, and there goes the front end of the car. Not what you want to see at this point in the race and this early in the first stage.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to say that other than Mulrooney, who really didn't have anywhere to go, the rest of the field did an amazing job not getting caught up in, as we commonly refer to it, that dumpster fire.
I agree with you there, because that could have been a lot worse for a lot of other drivers in the back, especially way back that were still fighting for the longest time that I recall.
Absolutely. As we're looking back at the leader now, he's actually extended that lead again over Keith Maiato. He is about half a second up the road from the 09. Saving tyres early on, was being caught, but now he's actually getting the foot to the floor, and he feels like he can win this stage now by the looks of things.
It looks like he might be able to win this stage, but right now the battle is really heating up for the number 3 spot, with the 36 of Braden Johnson and Chris Simmer in the 77 just playing a game of cat and mouse, knowing that they're about halfway through a fuel run right now.
Yeah, the fuel run right now has been approximately, from what Paul was telling us, approximately 38 laps, which definitely will not make it to any end of the stage. The question will be now is, when will they want to pit? I mean, at times, even an early pit could be advantageous. I'd say look as a pit window for some of these drivers. I'd say look around lap 30 to start seeing some drivers potentially make an early pit. Take a chance on an early caution as well.
Well, Las Vegas is synonymous for eating tyres, so that's another thing that we've got to consider, is that when they get around these tracks, they've got to get the correct line absolutely right, and make sure that their tyres don't get eaten up and they can actually make the fuel run in the end.
Yes.
Well, looking at the weather right now, at least I am, we're talking 70-degree ambient air temperature with an 82-degree Fahrenheit track temperature when they started the event. It's mid-afternoon with a 2-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the north, 55% relative humidity with 28 inches of mercury rising, which means that it's getting hotter, it's getting more humid, and the temperatures are probably going to start to flare here.
Yeah, a lot can happen, especially one minor mistake, and there will be some people that are going to be very frustrated with each other.
Well, business has definitely picked up at the front of the field, as from almost 3/4 of a second down to 1/4 of a second, Seth Hatchell now has to deal with Keith Maiato reeling him in at a pretty decent clip right now.
Yeah, as Ashley closed up the 09. Ashley wants this stage now. He's decided that now's the time, as we are on lap 23 of 155, lap 23 of 45 laps in this first stage. Maiato taking the low line coming out of 2, and that's giving him the run going onto the backstretch, going towards turn 3. Can he make that run successful and get right on the back of that number 8?
And then we also have some cars coming in the pits. Jeffrey Ford's just coming out of the pits, and we've got Andrew Melvin and Tyler Pluff both in the pits right now.
Yeah, Tyler, that's something I'm definitely going to need you to take a look at, because unfortunately I am on my laptop and just cannot run sim racing apps at the same time on Mom's Wi-Fi.
Well, I'm just looking at the pit stops there. Andrew Melvin with a 14.2, Tyler Pluff with a 14.7. So decent pit stops there, round about the average. The only person that's we've got Kurt Davidson in pit road as well now. So
yeah, Shane Pilia is also in the pit. Yeah, I've mentioned that one big time. I gotta get some racing apps actually on as I do not have them on right now at this moment.
Well, ATVO will give you the same information, and no, that's not a paid advertisement. The paid advertisement is going to be for Portside Automotive, full-service Jaguar and Land Rover dealer located in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. You need your car running in top condition. Don't forget to look for Portside Automotive. Their technicians are more than qualified to work on any type of vehicle, from your brand new Jaguar or Land Rover to your old comfortable Ford.
As we've got some more people taking coming into the pits now, we've got 5 cars just entering the pit stops right now. Making 6.
Hatchell's in pit road right now, and he's gonna hit his box.
As Mayato looks like he's, yep, there it goes. Mayato going pit side this time too.
So everybody bringing it down. There's Mitchell. He's decided to stay out. Here comes Mayato coming down pit road. Let's take a look at the pit stops again. Let's see what sort of a time he can get. Hatchell's already been in. He got a 14.8 on that stop, so not the best of times in his box, but he's there. But oh, Mayato, overshooting his pit box slightly, so that's going to cost him some time. We've got Braden Johnson's in as well.
And Joe Mitchell has passed the pit road. He is still running another lap.
Well, that means he's just put the entire field a lap down.
Everyone up to the 8th place, which 8th place is currently right now being held by Jay Dubuque. Brad Hicks is 7th, Braden Johnson is 6th right now currently.
As we take a look at the number 18, all on his own right now. Not sure if that's going to work in his favour. He's got no drafting help, and the more he stays out, the more those tyres are going to wear off. As Jeff Glockner's over 20 seconds in pit road right now. I'm not sure what's happening there.
I have no idea either.
My guess would be caught speeding.
That'll do it.
Take a look
because
at
I've raced with Jeff numerous times, and I can tell you right now, he's not one to just miss his pit stall. So I'm thinking, oh, there it goes, manually disconnected.
Oh no.
So something real life going on at the Glockner house. Best of luck, Jeff. Sorry it had to pause like that for you. As Mitchell continues to show the way, Lupe Gonzalez currently sitting in 2nd, 6.5 seconds back. And those are the two with, and some damage on the left rear quarter of the 53 of Gonzalez.
And Joe Mitchell is coming into the pits now.
Let's take a look at it.
That is going to hand the lead of the race over right there to Gonzalez, now your leader. But I can guarantee you that's not going to happen, not going to last too long, as Neff, who has some fresh skins on that that number 60 Mark Martin tribute paint scheme, hauling the mail.
He hasn't actually been in pit road yet, but yeah.
So Neff has not been in. Okay.
Oh, we got someone looping and going into pit road. From what I saw at the end, I don't know who it was.
That was Gonzalez.
Okay then.
Playing Tokyo Drift from the looks of it.
So the remaining cars we're waiting to see in pit road is Brian Neff, Brad Hicks, and Ron Olifield.
Olifield actually just into the pit road, I believe.
Yeah, just hit his box there. Brian Neff
and overshot the box.
Oh dear.
So we're just waiting on Neff and Brad Hicks as they are making their way around the track. Hicks is quite some ways back from Neff. He's got some damage on his car as well.
Well, here's the question I have. being as Neff started in 19th, had plenty of drafting help early on, you don't think Brian's gonna try to go the entire stint, do you?
No, actually, yes.
Oh, there it is.
He's going into the pit road now. And I believe Brad Hicks is not.
That hands the lead of the race over to Brad, so
he will be the only car on the lead lap now as he stays out. Goes through 1 and 2.
He'll have approximately a 17-second gap off of Sedge Hatchell, who is, in a sense, right now the provisional leader of the race once Brad goes into the pits.
It does have Shane Papala right up his bumper though, so it's not that far ahead. He's got about a 0.7 second lead over the 89. Shane Papala using pit strategy to his advantage and getting up there to the front, so good on him in that 89 Slim Jim Doritos car.
So probably going to take a guess and say that was a splash and go.
That's what I'm thinking as well, just to make it to the end of the stage and then pit for a full stop again.
Oh, business just picked up. Hicks is back out of the pits.
Oh,
Hicks has not pitted yet.
Oh no, he's not pitted yet. I'm sorry.
But he's definitely worn all the goodie off the tyres. He's getting passed by cars left, right, and centre. This is not going to work in his favour as Seth Hatchell is also catching him, and he's maybe a lap down, but if he unlaps himself, then Hicks could be in some serious trouble here once he goes in pit road.
Right now, the current gap between Brad and the top two are right now 14. Actually, scratched that 12.7 second gap right now, as Brad still does not look like he's going into the pits anytime soon. Just holding that highlight.
Here's the bad news, and I don't know if you guys are picking this up or not, but the 86 of Hicks looks like it's been driven straight into a telephone pole.
Yeah, he's got some front end damage there. Might have been caused by that incident with Aaron Mulrooney and
I believe it was actually earlier. When I was watching the going on as Brad is going into the pits this time, as I was watching the backfield at the start of the race, the 95 had a big checkup, and I believe Brad was the car that rear-ended Jeffrey Ford there early on in the race. I'm not 100% sure because I only saw the first car that was involved.
Well, let's go back to the lead as Seth Hatchell has now extended his lead over Shane Papala. Shane Papala is on older tyres, remember, so he will be falling back quite considerably compared to Seth Hatchell's newer tyres. Adam Baker is up to third now. He's right behind Papala. Ryan Gemmell is in fourth, but he's got an absolute train of cars behind him. The 36
he's got a lot of hungry vultures behind him. Some on the lead lap, some still a lap down. But actually, no, I take that back. Everybody behind the 6 of Gemmell, that's for position.
And that is your...
a lot of these battles.
That is your battle for fourth place right now, as the 36 of Braden Johnson is the closest to him right now. Everybody else behind him 2 by 2. That would include Keith Maiato, who slid through his pit stall, if you remember on that pit stop, so he's got some catching up to do as well as the 37.
I was going to say, here's the other thing, is Johnson's got fresher tires than Gemmell, because Johnson pitted 2 laps later, so you're seeing Johnson able to hold the low line, Gemmell having to run that second groove, and here comes the 09 of Maiato, who was one of the last of the front runners to bring it pit side.
Yeah, there he is in the P5 position. He's getting a run on the 36 of Braden Johnson. Sorry guys, didn't pull it up on my screen, but nothing can be done about that. Meanwhile, let's go back to our leader Shane Hatchell. He's right behind Hicks now. Brad Hicks, who's fallen back, and he's actually put him a lap down now. So Brad Hicks really falling back now after that late pit stop.
Well, for what it's worth, on behalf of the entire BOFA Broadcasting Company, Chris Bowman and Adam, it looks like Bacon, welcome to the BOFA family.
Yeah, I can't get rid of those notifications. 1 second now. There we go. They're gone. Sorry, but I needed to get rid of that.
That's alright, Sid.
Do what you got to do, my friend. Do what you got to do.
I will.
As we are quickly approaching the magic moment, Seth Hatchell praying this stays green for 2 more laps, as he is 2 seconds to the good over Papala.
Looking at top 3 battle going on, or actually no, I'm sorry, not a top 3 battle. The 89 and Shane Papala and the 48 are having a good little battle actually.
As we are now 2 laps to go to the end of the first stage, our current lineup right now, let's go to the top 10 lineup. We've got Hatchell in first, Papala second, Adam Baker third, Braden Johnson fourth, Keith Moyato rounding out the top 5. In P6 is Ryan Gemmell, 7th is Chris Simard, 8th is Andrew Melvin, 9th is Tyler Pluff, who pitted earlier if you remember, and rounding out the top 10 is Kurt Davidson. And should be coming around to complete the stage now. There it is.
There you go.
So Hatchell, Papala, Baker, Johnson, Mayato, Grimal, Gemmell, sorry, I'm thinking sausage. There's a Grimali's sausage near me, that awesome sausage. If you're ever in the Syracuse area, you owe it to yourself. You got Gemmell finishing 6th, Simard, Melvin, Pluff, and Davidson rounding out your top 10. I gotta say, guys, that was for the first segment with these Cup cars here at Vegas. I'm very impressed with this entire league.
Yeah, some very decent battles in it, but I mean, they spread out very quick, but it's a lot of decent strategies from what I've been watching. I like how this is going so far. It could be interesting when it comes to the second stage and the final stage as well.
So Tyler, let me post this question to you, and Sam, feel free to chime in on this as well. Okay. So Tyler, let me pose this question to you, because I know that you've done it before, and I've done this before as well. When the field's getting ready to go back to green, and you see everybody coming down pit road right now, chances are most of them are getting their tires that they didn't get in the previous stops. Would you come into pit road when the field gets 1 to go, top off your fuel, and then try to conserve as much to try to make the entire next segment on fuel? Considering it's technically gonna be a short segment, because we know the caution's gonna be coming out on lap 90. We're gonna take the green somewhere around lap 50. So, you know, if you save, you could. They said that you can get between 38 and 39. If you save, you can get to that 40 lap mark. So,
yeah, and in my opinion, that's in a stage racing environment like this, that would most likely be what I would take a chance on. Is I would try to get the I would actually try to top off fuel, get going when the 1 to go happens, get tires, and just make sure the fuel tank is topped off again. So what I would do is do a quick stop. It would jump me up to the front of the field. Then, as the 1 to go comes, as it gets to 1 to go, dive down in the pit road again, get fresh tires, just to be a few laps fresher rubber than everyone else, as well as make sure the fuel's fully topped off from whatever I used previously, and then try to what I can do to conserve enough fuel to make it to the end, and as well as have a competitive car to try to make some overtakes.
Right.
Well, that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah, especially the way these guys have been racing. Oh man, I would have a struggle trying to make some decent passes off these guys. I'd probably end up bending it into the wall, and especially with how I run in some of my other leagues, if I overdrive the car, I'd be flying into the wall.
So I'm back now.
Wrong.
A few technical glitches. The guys trying to sort out volumes and that, because you might seem to be very low. Stage results, very good. Yeah, no caution so far. Guys, on your screen it does say 1 caution, but that was the only caution we've had so far for the end of stage 1. As results are in right now, we've got Tyler Bluff at the front of the field right now, decided to stay out. But the strategy playing in early there. Not sure what the strategy is there, as we've had Hatchell taking it down pit side, and everyone else behind him, but a few people staying out.
Yeah, Sam, I think you're right on that one. Is that it definitely, you know, is going to, you know, play differently at this point in time. And unfortunately, Sam, if I could have you just go ahead and turn my gain up on your end, because I have no way to do it right now. It's different plugs on the laptop than I'm used to.
I have a feeling my strategy might be coming into play with a few people, as Joe Mitchell and Justin Rogers are both going into the pits right now, and I believe this might be the one to go.
Fair enough. You are watching the SOMO Racing League, brought to you by on Brofa Broadcasting, the other BBC. This is the Cup Series, brought to you by Portside Automotive in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. They are a full-service auto repair center focusing on personalized quality and service for every customer. Their technicians are more than qualified to work on all types of vehicles, from your brand new Jaguar or Land Rover to your comfortable old Ford. So if you are in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, be sure to stop by Portside and let them know that SOMO and Bofa Broadcasting sent you.
Yeah, we apologise we didn't bring anybody down for an interview during this caution, but we promise if there's another caution, next caution, we'll bring someone down for an interview. But for now, we're about to take it green again, guys, going through 3 and 4. Stage 2 is about to begin. Wow, okay, Bluff is taking the pit side, the pace car's off with him.
I think that was probably a miscue on Tyler Bluff's part.
As we are green again, green flag is out, and they get them going.
Papala with a nose out front as they got to the line, so give the point to the 89 for leading the lap. Here comes Baker on the inside, though. Preferred line it's a hungry pack of wolves right now at the front of the field.
Absolutely, as they're making their way through the 3-4 complex already. We're looking back now at the number 53, 53, sorry, no. Camera change again. We're watching the number 89, Shane Papala, who also stayed out in that caution, if I remember rightly. And yeah, he's making his way to the front. He's in second place now behind Adam Baker. We've got Bluff there on the inside line, just coming out of pit road. He's really shot himself in the foot there, pitting right before the green flag.
Yeah, that was an interesting move there. I was not expecting that kind of a move, but I have a feeling he probably missed his pit stall or something during the caution if he did go into the pits.
As we see Mayato using those new tyres to his advantage, taking to the apron, going for the tri-oval and making that move on Shane Papala. Now he's got his sights set on Adam Baker as they make their way down the backstretch. Papala making another run on that inside line as Mayato is now stuck on that outside. He's going to let Gemmell through as well if he's not careful. Close racing already on this second stage as Baker's taking to that apron just to get away from the chasing pack. Okay, I just received word why Ford is falling back. Looks like there was some problems there with the connection. Oh dear. So something we didn't mention earlier, but would like to point out, if you do like the action that you're seeing on track, like, subscribe, and share. Wait till after the live broadcast is over. Go ahead and drop a comment in the replay with your iRacing screen name. We'll get that passed along to Paul and the guys and see if we can't get you added into some of the action that the SOMO Racing League puts on. Absolutely, as they are making their way for the trial, we're now completing lap 54 and moving on to 55. We've still got Adam Baker out in front. Let's have a look at the top 5. Baker out in front, Mayata second, Papala third, Gemmell fourth, Braden Johnson in the top 5 again. So pretty much the same people that were in it before, apart from Adam Baker, who wasn't really up there to begin with. But yeah, pretty much the same runners that started the race up in the top 5. Not many movers and shakers, even though we've just had the first stage completed.
Yeah, I would keep an eye on the top 10 as well. The further back in the top 10, they're having some pretty decent battles. There's been a few too wide action going on as well. I've been seeing some decent passing.
What I'm going to say, though, is Baker apparently just didn't want to be up towards the front at the start of this thing and dropped like a stone as soon as the initial green flag came out. Qualified 5th, but just didn't want to be that far forward, it looks like. Now, leading this thing, getting a feel of, you got one segment under your belt, now it's time to go, now it's time to, see what you've got. So you got Baker, Mayato, Papala, Gemmell, Johnson, Melvin, Simard, Davidson, Neff, and Tom Clayton up into the top 10, a name we haven't talked about a lot yet tonight.
Yes, we haven't.
As we're looking at Kurt Davidson in that 41 sim racing after being chased down by Brian Neff, who's still there in the top 10. Tom Clayton, as you mentioned, yeah, he's right there as well. He's choosing that outside line in that number 66 Chevy. David Gainforth, that's another driver we've not mentioned much of tonight in that 101 Looney Tunes car. That is a really, really good paint scheme. I like that. Jim Locking in 12th there. He's in the 91 car. Adam Mulrooney Jr. had that issue early on in the race where being collected by another car spinning. He's down there in 13th place. Paul Cohen is there battling away in that iRacing machine on the outside with the number 8 of Seth Hatchell making his way through the field now. He had that pit stop under caution at the end of the stage. He's having to fight his way back. Jeff Sharp in 16th, Paul Zata in 17th, Liam McNeese 18th, Ron Hollifield is in 19th. There he is, all on his own there in the number 7. Right down the top 20 is Justin Rogers. So near the back, it's actually getting spread out as Keith Mayato is now in the lead of this thing. Lead change happening while I was going back for the field. Some close racing up front and pretty spread out at the back.
Well, what I'm going to say, I think Seth Hatchell was probably listening to the broadcast and listening to Tyler and I talk about some strategy that could possibly be beneficial as you notice your pole sitter slowly picking his way through the traffic right now. I'm thinking he just, pitted at the last second and we missed it on camera. If anybody wants to take a look and see what the differential is between current stints between those guys.
Yeah, right now looking at current stints, it looks. I want to say Seth. I want to say it says based on some of the apps I'm looking at right now, it's saying that Seth hit it at the same time. There was 2 cars that did hit it at the last second on that one lap to go. The 21 of Justin Rogers and the 18 of Joe Mitchell. But so far they have been right now holding 20th and 21st, way off pace right now. Currently, Rogers is 8 seconds off the leader, and Joe Mitchell is currently 11, almost 12 seconds off the leader.
Well, if those two could get to each other. You know what, Mitchell, I just was riding along with Mitchell. He's actually not just lifting early, he's cutting the throttle going into the corner. He's trying to make this on just that one stop.
I think that he's probably doing what that's something I wouldn't be doing myself, but that would be interesting. Yeah, I'm going off of this camera now, and he's got the car completely turned off, it seemed like.
As we're looking back at the front of the field, we've got Shane Papala back out in front again. Another lead change. Adam Baker's moved back up to second. Keith Mayato falling back to third. Braden Johnson, the only one that's not moved forward yet, is still in 4th place. He's sitting back watching the action and hoping that something happens and brings out the caution.
Bizarre tactics starting already as we are currently working lap 65 of 155.
We're already halfway through this second stage.
Yeah,
pretty much.
As currently I'm on Justin Mitchell's on cam, and just as he goes into the turns, he's cutting it off completely. As he's getting into the halfway of the turn, kicks the car back in, and off he goes.
Well, if that's not trying to save as much fuel as you can, I don't know what is.
You and me both. This would be interesting to see if this works. We'll have to definitely keep an eye on the number 18. I mean, if he manages to finish up in first at the end of this stage, that'll be an interesting strategy that I would never have thought would work.
I don't know how well it is going to work, considering that he's currently being shown at 13.6 seconds off the leader, and the leaders are lapping at 30.8. So definitely,
and looking off the most recent lap times, he's only about a 1/10 of a second off, but at the same time, being a 1/10 of a second off still hurts, especially around here at Vegas.
Let's go back and have a look at Ligo and Paul Zota, who's making his way through the field as well in the 19.9. Putting the pass on the 51 of Paul Cowan. Not really heard much from him today. He's running in the top 15. Doing alright for himself by the looks of things.
Well, if he's putting a pass on Cohen, Cohen's not, not giving up easies. Making that high line really work.
And that's the great thing about Las Vegas, that high line, once it comes into play, really does work nicely, and you can actually make those passes on the outside. As we can see, Cohen really holding on to that outside line, and he does finally give up that position. Meanwhile, moving back to the front, we've got Shane Parler still out front, Adam Baker in second. Keith Mayato and Braden Johnson falling to a few car lengths back now, so I'm guessing saving those tyres, running that high line and making sure that they've got the grip as they come to the end of the run. Andrew Melvin back there in 5th place. He's in a bit of air all to himself. He's got no threats behind, no threats in front. As Papala brings it down pit side. So
Kurt Davidson as well goes into the pits.
First one to blink, Shane Papala.
Well, he was one of the first people to pit last time round, and that's what brought him to the front of the field. But yeah, he's going to be bringing himself pit side as he makes it into his pit stall. Good stop there as the 41 comes in with him.
As Ron Hollyfield and Jeff Sharp also going to dive down in the pit road as well.
And Hollyfield in the number 7 Kodak car did not overshoot his pit this time. He kind of had an oops on his first stop.
Yeah, he was very in at a very tight angle, as we see. Where is he? We've got Braden Johnson in there as well in the 36. Why can't I find him? Where is he? There he is. In his pit stall now in that second pit slot. Adam Baker now to the point now as he is making his way through 3 and 4. Will he bring a pit side? Not sure.
My auto going pit side.
Let's bring up the pit board marker so we can see what the times of the pit stops are while we're
I would also want to say keep an eye on Joe Mitchell. I mean, this is going to be interesting as he most likely will be taking over the lead once everyone else goes into pit road.
As Seth Hatchell brings it down. Oh, the 95 spinning. That's not going to be good. Jeffrey Ford almost hitting the wall coming into pit road, and eventually makes it into his pit box. Oh God, still not awake yet. Adam Baker staying out, using the long fuel strategy. Got some clean air right now, so he's got nothing to stop him from.
Listen carefully to what's going on with the 48. Go on board with him and listen to this one.
1 second now.
He's doing the same idea as
Oh no,
Joe Mitchell
he's cutting off the engine.
The thing is, though, Adam Baker's ran 2 more laps compared to Justin Rogers and Joe Mitchell. The 21 and the 18 both pitted right at the 1 to go where I was talking about. I haven't been on the onboard yet of Justin Rogers, but I'm curious if he's also doing the same thing.
Well, Joe Mitchell there. We're just looking at Joe Mitchell there, and he's doing exactly the same thing as well. He's cutting off the engine, going through the corners, and letting people past him.
Right, and Joe's been doing it the entire run so far. Looking off at Justin Rogers, all he's doing is letting off the gas. He's not turning off the car or anything, but he did have some damage recently, especially on the front end. So I don't think he'll be a big factor. But Adam Baker and Joe Mitchell will probably be the big factors in this stage.
Most definitely, as we are still under green flag pit stops. Adam Baker's still not made it down pit road yet. Everybody else has pitted.
Currently working lap 76 of 155. Competition caution scheduled to come out on lap 90 as they complete lap 90, I should say.
And look at Shane Papala closing up very quickly on Adam Baker. That's the difference between old tyres and new tyres, folks. As they're making
that's the difference. That's the difference between old tires and new tires. That's also the difference between turning off the engine as you go into the corner and just keeping it, wound right up to a, 11.
Yeah.
As Papala makes it look that easy. As Braden Johnson goes past them as well. They're both back on the lead lap now. So if Adam Baker pits now, that's going to put him in a really bad situation.
Yes, but I think he's going to run it all the way until lap 90. We got about 13 laps to go right now, so it's going to be cutting it close, especially with the run of fuel runs approximately being 38, 39 laps. I mean, he's going to most likely run it all the way until it's dry, or if he can barely make it, or he can at least make it and be able to get in the road during the caution.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how far he can make it, because he hasn't been doing that this entire stint.
No, and Joe Mitchell has. And currently right now, Adam Baker has ran 2 laps more than Joe Mitchell and Justin Rogers. But this will be interesting to see how far he can make it. As right now, he's right now finishing lap 34 of a pit stop run so far of a stint.
Well, when you think about it this way, the guys that have already pitted and have the fresh tires and have the fresh tanks of fuel, they're turning high 30s. Adam Baker, your leader, just turned a 32.111.
And Joe Mitchell as well is running a 32.2, so that's going to be very interesting. 3-second gap minimum right now.
Adam Baker and Justin Rogers being passed like they're standing still by everybody on the field now, so they have got to be really cautious now coming into pit road, as that was Mayato scraping the wall trying to get past Adam Baker. I'm guessing these drivers will be willing to do anything to get around the other car in front of them.
Yeah, especially when they need to really go for it if they want to try to catch up to Adam Baker and pass him, as well as Joe Mitchell and Justin Rogers.
Well, we are 10 to go before the competition caution is going to come out again, and Papala in the 89 currently reeling in the 18 of Mitchell, who we know Papala can make it from here because he pitted already. Mitchell trying to hang on there. I think it's go time. I think you've saved everything that you could possibly save, Joe. You're going to have to get after it and see what you've got left.
Yeah, because right now Mitchell's still cutting off the engine. He's going to get freight trained here by Papala and Johnson pretty soon. It won't be too long.
They're both on the same piece of real estate now. They're actually one back straight apart from each other now, so there's definitely no gap there anymore. It's closing very quickly, as there is literally 4 seconds between the two cars. Adam Baker's still staying out as well. He's actually getting passed by the number 6 of Ryan Gemmell now, and the 07 of Mulrooney Jr. Justin Rogers, I don't know, I can't understand their strategy for staying out like this, but maybe it'll pay off in the later part of the race, but I just can't see it working right now as Pipala is catching Mitchell hand over fist right now, using that apron to try and close that gap as well, and he's really got the hammer down right now.
Well, it's gone from 10 seconds to inside 3 seconds with inside only about 5 laps. So I don't think, unless Joe Mitchell really starts to honk on it right now and then prays that he can make it from here, I don't see him getting top 3 points for this segment.
No, I agree with you there as well, Tony.
Now, it's going to be yeoman's work to catch Rogers and Baker, but Pipala not so much.
Yeah.
We're closing in on 5 to. It'll be 5 to go this time across the stripe.
Yeah, and so far from what I've watched is I think Joe should have done what Justin's doing. Justin is not turning off the car, but Justin is he's letting off the gas and coasting a few ways, but he has not turned off the car one bit from what I've seen.
He's probably dipping the clutch is what he's doing. Let's
go to Adam Baker. He's catching up, he's behind Paul Zota and Tyler Pluff. He's 39 laps on his fuel stint, so he's got to be really close on fuel right now. Is he?
4 to go this time.
Yeah, he's not going to make it. I'm sure he's not going to make it.
You're right. If he makes it, I will be shocked.
Because right now, currently, the top 3 have not pitted at all at the start of this stage. Adam Baker's on a 41-lap stint right now. While Justin Rogers and Joe Mitchell are all on a 39-lap stint right now.
And Joe Mitchell is still cutting the engine.
Braden Johnson is now taking over that provisional first place spot as they take the inside line on Joe Mitchell and unfortunately take that position away on much fresher tyres. Pipala in a potential second place after it all shapes out.
Well, the big question is, how much has Justin Rogers saved? Because he's currently sitting in second, and he is reeling in Baker. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah, he's only 2.8 seconds behind right now, coming to the line. Let's see if that gap's closed. 2.3 seconds now, gap between Rogers and Baker.
So we're definitely getting some close racing as we are 2 to go for the stage.
If I was Rogers right now, I'd be hammered down right now, not worrying about fuel. I'd be trying to get past Baker if possible for that stage win.
My foot would be through the floorboard and I'd be trail braking to try to control the car.
As Adam Baker crosses the line to complete stage 2. That should be the caution coming out right now. There it is.
No. Oh, yep, there it is. Just barely. As Rogers, not expecting Baker to slow up as much as he did, almost punted him.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with just the top 3. I mean, Adam Baker finishing first, Justin Rogers second, and then Joe Mitchell finishing 5th, and they were the only 3 that weren't able to make it all the way to the end of the stage. I'm really impressed with that.
I'd say we talk to Mr. Baker and see what took place there.
I agree with you.
Before you do that, let's go through our stage results. Winning that second stage was Adam Baker, second was Justin Rogers, third was Braden Johnson, 4th Shane Pipala, 5th Joe Mitchell, 6th Chris Simard, 7th Kurt Davidson in the Sim Racing Apps Ford, 8th it was Seth Hatchell, 9th Keith Mayato, and rounding out the top 10 and getting the last point in that stage was Brian Neff. Okay, if you want to bring down Adam Baker.
Yeah, we're reaching out to Adam Baker right now. Adam, Tony up in the booth, you got me, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, talk us through what was going on there. We kind of heard the engine being cut off towards the second half of that stage. Were you when did you start to pick up that strategy to try to conserve fuel as much as you can to not have to pit during that stage like everybody else did?
Well, I saw when everybody started coming in that I was right on the edge of making it, and I figured I wasn't probably going to catch up to the leaders again, so I was going to, just chance it, and really started to, coast and cut the engine out at the end, and just happened to work out. I have like less than half a gallon of fuel left, so just enough.
Well, talk us through your strategy with basically double what you just did, getting ready to go ahead here with the final segment. Any specific strategy you're going to do, or just you put them up on the dash and hope you brought the biggest ones?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have the kind of like middle length run speed. I definitely have some short run speed, and I think I have pretty good long run speed. It takes a little while for it to come back in. So I'm just going to try and pace myself, and then at the last run when that comes in, I'm just going to go for it.
All right, fair enough. Adam, we'll let you get back to it. Congratulations on the stage win, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in about 60 laps.
All right, thank you. Glad to have you guys on board.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
As we go back to
that answers that question.
Yeah.
And he actually won the race off pit road as well, so it's worked even more in his favour, as we've got 3 lap cars in front of him. I'm guessing that's Len McNeese, Lupe Gonzalez and Brad Hicks in front of him.
I have to admit now, I think I might have to write that down on my notebook of potential strategies now after showing me off like that. Boy, that caught me off guard. I was thinking it was barely gonna make it. Boy, half a tank, half a gallon left. Wow.
One half of a gallon, which one more lap at speed and that thing would have been spitting.
Yes.
Let's look at this. Joe Mitchell actually came second off pit road, so he's gained those places back that he lost before the stage finished.
As well as Justin Rogers, he had a good pit stop as well. I mean, he's the biggest mover right now. Qualified 25th, and he's currently up to 3rd. That's an awesome strategy there by Justin Rogers as well. Granted, he's got some front end damage, but that's an awesome strategy right now. The top 3 drivers all not hitting that entire second stage.
They're not pitting the entire second stage, but they're also, the guys that they knew how to play that fuel mileage game, and they played it well. In Baker's case, played it to perfection. When he went in for his pit stop, had a half a gallon left. It doesn't get much closer than that, folks.
I agree with you there. It does not get any closer than that.
So, you are watching a presentation of the Boca Broadcasting Company, the other BBC. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Turn on notifications so you know when we are going to be live the rest of the week. You are watching the SOMO Portside Jaguar and Land Rover Cup Series live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Portside Jaguar Land Rover is your full-service auto repair center, focusing on offering personalizing quality service to every customer. Portside Automotive is a complete service center equipped with handling anything from a simple oil change to expensive engine work, and their technicians are qualified to work on more than just your Jaguar or your Land Rover. They can work on your old comfortable Ford, Chevy, Dodge, or Honda as well. So if you are in the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area, swing by Portside Automotive for all your automotive repair needs.
And just giving a heads up there as well, 3 cars did pit as we go into 1 to go. The 37 of Andrew Melvin, the number 12 of Tyler Pluff, and the number 7 of Ron Hollifield.
Tyler Pluff using that last minute strategy again to go down pit road before the green comes out. Not really a clever strategy, as we're about to get in green again. The pace car is about to peel off. We've got Adam Baker in control of the field, and he gets him going as we go in green again. As Adam Baker gets out to a good couple of car lengths lead. We've got Mitchell on that outside, making that outside work and really getting up to that position. Let's go back to that again. Sorry, the camera changed just as it was happening. Mitchell up to 2nd, Braden Johnson up to 3rd, Hatchell up to 4th. Justin Rogers getting a terrible start. He's dropped back to 5th now.
And Brian Neff bombs it into turn 3 as he gets by Gainsford.
And Kurt Davidson following him through. Yeah, Gainson really falling back at that Looney Tunes 101. Davidson now stuck on that high line, getting a lot of error wash, and yeah, losing that position back to Gainson.
Yeah, looking on further back, they're starting to really try to fight for the positions before they all start stringing out, going single file, but so far, no one's made any kind of errors and whatnot. It's going to be, the question now is going to be who's going to make that error first, and it's really going to cost them a lot of time.
I think it's about Justin Rogers. He got one hell of a horrible start on that restart, falling back to 5th after starting, I believe it was 2nd, and third, but not the restart he wanted. He's stuck behind the 2 blue cars of Seth Hatchell and Braden Johnson. Joe Mitchell and Adam Baker using their previous strategies to perfection as they are making their way onto lap 98 now of 155. Yeah, everyone's spreading out now again. Let's go back to Keith Maiato. He's dropped back to 12th place. He's not had the best of races since that first stage.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Maiato probably has a little bit of damage. If I'm not mistaken, that car hit something. He
hit check the wall about midway through the second stage.
Yeah, you can see a lot of damage on the right side rear quarter of that car. It's definitely affecting his handling right now, guys. And being stuck on the low side is not where you want to be with a car that appears to have gone aero loose.
Yeah, I agree, and especially with fighting too wide traffic a lot, that's going to make it 10 times worse. As one mistake is going to end up wiping himself out and a few cars as well.
That's generally what you would refer to as a Waffle House, where the cars are scattered, smothered, and the track is covered.
As we see Shane Papala making his way back through the field in that 89 Ford. As far as paint schemes go, that's probably one of the nicest in the field, that Slim Jim car. But I digress. Tom Clayton in 12th place there in the 66 Wrangler for Chevy.
I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the Snickers car that's currently sitting in 2nd place because I'm a big fan of the Snickers crisper.
Oh yeah. We haven't got those yet over here.
Then you need to start a letter writing campaign, Sam, because you don't know what you're missing, my friend.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're missing it, Sam.
Island, wake up. Actually, we're under a blanket of snow right now, so we can't wake up.
You have to admit, though, a good battle, though, between Adam Baker and Joe Mitchell, and especially when they were the 2 cars that were practically letting off the gas as well as turning off the cars for both of them. So they're giving a hell of a run right now.
Well, they're not switching off the engines now. This is go time. This is the final stage of the race as we're on lap 102 of 155, and now it's go time for those 2.
I was going to say, I would like to point out we have not seen the money stop yet, but you know, basically it's whoever, for those of you who are new to my vernacular, your money stop is whoever can hit their marks on that final pit stop the best, and you know you can make it from there. You put them up on the dash, you put your foot through the floorboard, and steer the damn thing.
I 100% agree with you there.
As they're making their way through the trial, but now it's neck and neck between Adam Baker. We've got our 2-car battle.
As we got a crash behind in the infield, I just saw it at the corner of my eye at the back end.
That would be
Shane Papala.
Oh no!
Oh, that's a heartbreaker right there.
He's back up to speed. I gotta go back to the replays to find what happened, but I know it was the 89 flying through the infield grass.
As we go back and take a look at that,
he got good with the 41.
Yeah, the 41's been having trouble since the restart. He was being passed by people left, right, and centre, possibly not getting that car right.
That's what was going on. He tried to check up to stay off of Maiato, and unfortunately, Papala was there.
Yeah, Maiato getting the worst of that, hitting the wall again. He's going to have some severe right side damage now as they actually came out of that. Well, as Papala and I've lost my train of thought. Papala and Davidson got out of that relatively unscathed. My Arto has some very significant damage.
If you take a look at the 41 of Davidson, the entire right side of that car is pancaked.
Yeah, Davidson took a big shot.
Davidson took a big shot on the right side, and when he went down into Papala, that pancaked the right side of Papala's car too. So you got 3 cars with pancakes right now for right sideboards. As Mitchell looking to the inside of Baker as they haul off into the 1-2 complex.
Easily take advantage of it. That was a good pass there. It's a 3 wide for the third right now.
Set him up. Looked at it for a lap. Here comes Mitchell back on him. I'm sorry, Baker back on Mitchell.
And you know why they're passing each other very.
He's going pit side.
Mitchell and Baker are actually teammates, so they're probably working together right now. Even though
Baker's taking it pit side early.
Pit strategy, It's fuel strategy. Remember, these guys.
50 laps to go.
Yeah. He's going to try and stretch it to 50 laps.
That's going to be yeoman's work.
Yeah.
He's already done it once. He can do it again.
He didn't go 50 laps last time.
He went about 45. Yeah, 45 actually. Exactly 45, I want to say.
Well, they're on lap 109 of 155, so it is possible that he can make it for 45 laps, maybe even 46 if he can save fuel like he did last time. But at the moment, we've got Joe Mitchell out in front. Close battle behind him between Braden Johnson and Seth Hatchell. That's your battle for second place right now. Justin Rogers in 4th. David Gainsforth up to 5th now, so he's having a good run in this 3rd stage.
Only thing I can look at with Adam Baker making that move is I would, if I was Adam though, I would have waited until about 40 to go, maybe a little less, because
you can make it from there.
Knowing that you could force it to 45, but I'd make it to where you can at least run full throttle and not have to turn off the car exponentially, because that's going to be the one thing that could. I mean, he got away. In a sense, I feel like he got away with it in that second stage.
You're not wrong, as Mitchell has Johnson all over his back bumper. Johnson bombs it down into turn number 3. Mitchell trying to fight back on the high side. They're side by side coming to the stripe.
He's actually going to get him on the outside as they make their way for the tri-oval. Is he going to get it?
On the outside.
That outside line not working to its full potential on through turns 1 and 2, and Johnson's still going to be right there, but Mitchell gets it with the push from Hatchell.
That's going to move Hatchell up into 2nd. Hatchell going to try to bomb it into 3 this time. Mitchell's going to keep his foot into it on the high side.
While they're battling as well, Justin Rogers is slowly closing in on him as well.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, these guys are racing like it's the last lap, and it's lap 113 of 155.
Yeah,
so.
I wonder if Rogers is waiting for one of them to make a mistake and he can capitalize on it, or if all 3 wreck. If that happens, oh man, it's gonna be interesting if caution comes out now.
Safe bet, because if you look at Rogers' split time between he and Braden Johnson, he's holding court at just far enough back that if the dumpster fire starts, he can avoid it.
Yes. I like that strategy with Justin. I mean, he's as long as he's running the way he's running, he's gonna be one of the best hard charger I've seen in a while. Starting 25th, coming up right now where he's at currently, 21 positions ahead of where he started. That's a good day to me in general.
Very much so.
As we got
Mitchell, Hackle, Johnson, Rogers, Gainsforth, Simmert, Neff, Mayato, Clayton, and Melvin rounding out your top 10.
And what we've got to break in the voices right now, I'm just going to point out to the people watching, if you like what you're seeing, leave a comment. Let us know how much you're enjoying the race. If you're new to the channel, leave a like, maybe even a subscribe if you want to see more content. We do have a lot of action coming to you. Actually, tomorrow night we're back at Las Vegas again with the Go Fast Racing League and their Grand National Series, Tony.
True story. And I'm actually looking forward to see how race number 3 of that series is going to play out. As we're joining here with the SOMO series a little bit late in the season. They asked us to step in, and we are very happy to be here with the Portside Jaguar Land Rover Cup Series for SOMO Racing. Sorry, the pain meds are starting to wear off.
Okay. Oh, we've got one in the apron. That's the 08.
That was Miato. I think he was originally going to go into the pits, and I believe he cooked it big time.
I think that's Mikhail Shuk, actually. He's got that serious damage. He was in that incident earlier in the race when he tore off the front end of his car. Gemmel is...
Hey, look, a modified.
Yeah. Gemmel's over 3 minutes in pit road.
Yeah, I think that was McCutcheon. We got another wreck. Oh boy, big wreck. Big wreck in the backstretch as the caution comes out now.
Well, that changes everything.
And that also ruins Adam Baker's race, as he was a lap down as well.
He's a lap down, but lucky dog to Adam Baker, as he is the first car 1 lap down.
Oh, that's
can someone point out to me where that wreck was?
On the back straightaway, the Wrangler car.
66. Let's go back about 40 seconds and watch what happened. Go back another 10 seconds.
From my angle, it looks like a 3 wide gone bad.
Yeah, as we see the 66 making his way through turns 1 and 2, and yeah, came down on, who is that?
It was actually the
37. Yeah, Andrew Melvin. That speared the 66 onto the inside and smashed that inside wall. That's going to bring out our first legitimate caution of the night. So, even
wow, the avoidance that the other cars had around the 37 when it slid back up
great
the track.
situational awareness by the rest of the field to get around that. Unlucky for Tom Clayton, but everybody else, I'm going to applaud them right now because they've gone this long without their, and they've only just had their first legitimate caution.
Absolutely. And guess what, kids? 35 laps to go. This is the money stop.
Yes, Braden Johnson won the race off pit road. Joe Mitchell getting out second. Hatchell third. There is Gainforth gaining a place, no pun intended. Brian Neff in 5th. Jim Locking up to 6th, that's a good pit stop for him. Justin Rogers dropping to 7th, and I can only assume he's had a bad pit stop. Tyler Pluff in 8th. He actually came in with everybody else this time, so look for him to actually stay out this time in this restart.
Yeah, with right now on lap 120 of 155. They're definitely, I'd say there's definitely in the pit window, especially if they're saying that fuel is roughly between 38 39 laps. This is definitely going to be in that window, unless things happen, but I don't think anyone's going to come back into the pits anytime soon.
Adam Baker is back on the lead lap. He got the lucky dog this time round. He's actually taking it down pit road right now, so he's back up there again. Expect to see him near the front again soon, but obviously he's going to get that EOL for taking that lucky dog. Meanwhile, back on the front, we're looking at the 36, who won the race off pit road.
If you're getting the EOL for getting the lucky dog, that's a free stop. You're going to have the precious tires and fuel of everybody because, you know, you stop, you're going to be back there anyways. You might just as well stop, top it off, put the fresh tires on it, and then have fun picking off everybody in front of you.
Yes, I agree with you on that. That's pretty much free spots there later on, especially as everyone else is going to probably wear down their tires battling
Well, if you do it right, it's free spots.
We're currently have 18 cars on the lead lap if you include the guys that are waiting for their waiver round. Kurt Davidson in the 41 there, you can see in there, had that little scrape earlier on in the race. He's there in 18th place, waiting for that waiver round.
Going to get one of his 2 laps back.
No, he's actually going to be back on the lead lap this time round.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, I had to wait for the sim to update for me.
Yeah, we've got just put outfield Braden Johnson making one hell of a pit stop. Seth Hatchell, fastest pit stop of the night so far with a 14.1. He's got to be happy with that, but he definitely won't be happy with the fact that Joe Mitchell got out in front of him.
I want to say Jim Locking actually had a quicker stop of 13.9, based off of what I'm looking at off the apps right now.
Well, here we go, kids. Lights are out on the pace car. We've seen the money stop. What you have now is what you have. Time to put them up on the dash one more time, as we are going to be getting the green with, looks like 28 to go.
Or 23 to go.
Yeah. My pick right now, coming to this restart, my pick right now is going to be Jim Mitchell. I mean, that stop of what he did, that second stage of what he did with the running the entire stop, running the entire stint, not running out of fuel. I want to say the way he was running, he's got a good car. I'd look at Joe Mitchell potentially winning this race.
It's going to be hard to fight against that. You know, with Mitchell doing what he did, his pace car getting ready to duck down pit road. There it goes, and there goes Johnson pulling the trigger.
As we are on the green again, as Johnson really gets a great restart, as Hatchell gets that inside line off Mitchell and takes away that second place. So the inside line really working well on those restarts.
Well, on fresh tires, you can get away with playing down that low, but you know, once you get some heat into the tires, you wear some of the goodie off of it, and it's, you know, you're hanging on for dear life at that point.
Yes,
absolutely. As we've got Hatchell now making a move on Braden Johnson. Those two resuming battle from their earlier escapades earlier, as Mitchell making a run on the inside of the 36 as well and trying to take that second place away again, albeit with Johnson being the victim. Hatchell back to the front. It's good to see him back up there after leading the early laps.
Already starting to single file out about top 6, it looks like.
Now I'm going to ask you guys to be quiet for a minute as we are about to go crank it up. Tell you what, there's nothing better than the sound of over 13 roaring V8s just powering around an oval.
Yeah, definitely.
As we've got a pass for the lead now, the number 18 of Joe Mitchell getting on the inside of the number 8 of Seth Hatchell and taking away that lead again. He is a man on a mission right now. He wants that win tonight, and with 29 laps to go and he plays his cards right, he's definitely going to get it, as Brian Neff is now up into the top 5. What a run he's having right now. He's up in 4th place down in the 60. Justin Rogers is back at 6th place. He's fallen back after that pit stop. Jim Locking in the 91 is in 7th. Adam Baker back on the lead lap after getting the lucky dog in the caution. He is in 8th place. Andrew Melvin back up in the top 10 as well. And Shane Parler, after getting that damage in the incident earlier on, he's up into the top 10 and putting a move on Andrew Melvin as they go for the triangle. Got the inside line. Tyler Pluff is right there with him as well. Going into one, can he get the move done? They're side by side.
And while you're watching the tail end of the field, Mitchell and Hatchell swapping the lead back as Hatchell back up to the point as he had a power move coming through the 1-2 complex.
Yeah, swapping positions there for the lead as also Braden Johnson has actually fallen away from the top 2. Possibly a bit of strategy there as we're closing on 25 laps to go. Saving those tyres and making sure he's got the goodie there for the end, for the final run. Meanwhile, yeah, Seth Hatchell back to the front there in the number 8, and Joe Mitchell in 2nd place. Look for them to keep trading places as we've got the 0-8 there on the, desperately trying to get down to the apron to avoid everybody.
That's someone coming down into the pit road. I don't know what number it was that went into the pit.
That would be the 0-8.
That's Mikkelsen.
Alright, he's laps down currently, so.
Thinking he's probably going to call it a night from this point then.
Most likely.
Which is shocking really, because Kalchuk is actually the last car running and he's in 23rd. So we've still got a lot of cars left in this race. As Justin Rogers moves his way up to 5th place now, making the pass look easy on Brian Neff. His next target will be David Gainforth, who's sitting in 4th place. Again, no pun intended.
This is a big battle here. A lot of spots up for grabs, especially after the top 4.
But the top 3 have checked out right now. They are gaining that lead over the chasing pack, and they're just going to fight it out between themselves as we are 23 laps to go now. Any one of these 3 could take it, but then again, it's anybody's game at this point.
Well, you still got a long way to go as we're closing in on the 20 to go mark. You know, as you guys pointed out, from 4th back, basically throw a blanket over those guys, and from 4th to 14th, separated by right around a car length apiece.
Yeah, there's about a second gap between 4th and 14th. It's very, very close racing. Now it's actually the 101 and the 21 are starting to gap the 91 of Jim Lockett, who's actually falling back now. Adam Baker making his way through there.
Yeah, he's just making a nice little pass on the 60 right now. He's trying, I think he's going to start trying to force it now where he can try to catch up to the top 3, knowing that the top 3 are checking out big time.
Well, he's got his teammate up there in the 18, so yeah, there's no doubt that he knows that it's time to go.
I'll say,
yeah, 20 to go. You're going to need to, you know, whatever you've got left, now is the time to use it.
And I'm guessing Seth Hatchell's starting to use it now because he's starting to gap Joe Mitchell. He's starting to pull away from the 2 behind him. He is actually making that run now.
Right now, the last lap times that come in, Seth Hatchell ran a 30.47. While Joe Mitchell's ran at 30.52, almost 0.05 of a second gap, but that's still enough to easily start pulling away from a car.
Absolutely.
So you got Hatchell, Mitchell, Johnson, Gainforth, Rogers, Baker, Neff, Papala, Locking, Melvin. That's your top 10 currently, as we are within 20 to go. You know, the top 3, like we stated, have just checked right out. The rest of the field is going to need a miracle to catch those 3 right now.
Yeah, it's almost a second and a half behind, well, nearly 2 seconds behind Braden Johnson, who's sitting in 3rd place, trying to make a move on that number 18 Snickers car of Joe Mitchell. Not making it work so far. Seth Hatchell got some clean air right now. He is over 0.2 of a second ahead of Joe Mitchell, but I'm guessing considering what we've seen from Joe Mitchell so far tonight, I'm guessing he's just biding his time and waiting for the right moment to attack.
Yeah, and I would keep an eye on Adam Baker as he's currently trying to get around Justin Rogers. Adam Baker's got one of those other quick times this route. Right now, comparing the lap times to the leaders, Adam Baker is right up there with the leader's lap time right now.
Let's go back further into the field, and Kurt Davidson there, sitting there in 16th place all on his own right now. Ron Holyfield, that's a driver we've not really spoke of much tonight. He's sitting there, got some damage to the front left quarter panel. Lupe Gonzalez, he's sitting there. He is one lap, he's your first car a lap down, so he's running for that lucky dog. Got Len McNeese sitting very far back, so if there is another caution, Gonzalez is in the right position to get that lucky dog.
So get your hate mail coming, folks, at Sam Cooper Bennett, P.O. Box OU812. Dublin, Ireland, postal code of 8675309.
And good luck getting through the snow to try and get to me.
True story.
Anyway, back to the front, we've got Seth Hatchell still out there in the lead. Actually, Braden Johnson has actually passed Joe Mitchell, has moved up to second. Now he's chasing down Seth Hatchell for that lead spot, and he's actually closing the gap, so he was actually being held back by Mitchell. Now he's been released. Now we can have a battle for the lead.
Yeah, as Joe Mitchell's fallen back, but at the same time, keep an eye on the battle between Adam Baker, Justin Rogers, and potentially David Gainforth as well, as Gainforth trying to pull away from Rogers and Baker. Looks like Baker's starting to fall in line with Rogers and going to try to make another move in the top 5.
Let's not forget Shane Papala's right there as well, right behind them.
So I'm thinking it was as far back as Baker started this current segment. He's worn all the goodie off the tires.
I can agree with that. He's been running that bottom line so much that I don't know how much longer he'll hold that bottom line.
As we're looking at Shane Papala now, he's made his way back up to 7th place. Trying to chase down Baker, but Baker's not an easy person to catch, as he is really getting on the inside of Justin Rogers now. Can he make the move stick as they go through 1 and 2?
Currently 12 to go.
13 to go.
12 this time across the stripe.
Yep. Most definitely. As the gap between Hatchell and Johnson is getting smaller and smaller. Actually, I take that back. It's actually getting bigger and bigger as it's up to 0.4 of a second now.
Oh, almost made some contact there with Baker and Rogers.
So much action going on through the field, guys. I don't know where to look right now.
You and me both, Sam.
Well, your top 3 have checked out. They're running single file. I think they're just going to take the points that they can get and just file it away until next week. Yeah. Whereas Gainforth currently sitting in 4th, kind of in no man's land, doesn't really have any help in front of him, and not really a lot of pressure behind him yet. So your battle right now is really for, 5th, 6th, and 7th with Baker, Rogers, and Papala.
There's also a good battle going on 2x2 for 8th. Brian Neff, Tyler Plum, Andrew Melvin, and Jim Locking, as they've been in a heated battle. Both roads going too wide.
Yeah, they've just put Mayato another lap down. He's now 2 laps down. Not sure what's happened to him. Probably been in to get some more damage fixed from earlier. But yeah, Brad Hicks is also 1 lap down. That early strategy from Brad Hicks really bit him in the backside for this for the remainder of this race.
Yes, it has.
As we go back to the front now, Braden Johnson really got that gap down now to under about 0.3 of a second. With 9 laps to go. Yeah.
Neff sideways coming through the tri-oval.
Look, what a save though. Still some interesting battle there. He's still getting squeezed around a bit.
still watching Hatchell and Johnson as they are getting into it now. They know it's go time. We're 8 to go as they've just crossed the line going through 1 and 2. Mitchell's sitting back there just waiting for something to happen. Baker's finally made his way up to 4th place. Made his way up to 4th place after passing Gameforth. Gameforth, I'm assuming, has used up the tyres and is now being chased down by Justin Rogers.
Yeah,
you're probably not wrong, but you've got Baker, who is currently 3 seconds off of Mitchell, sitting in 4th. So the teammates, I don't think Mitchell's going to wait up for his teammate to get there. You know, and then you've got battling going on behind him. There's a little bit of a blink happening for Papala.
Yeah.
Not the thing he wants to see this stage of the race, as we're going to be 6 to go as they cross the line. It's Hatchell and Johnson right there as they're going into turn 1. This is going to be the biggest battle on the field right now. Well, it's going to be because it's for the win. So as they're closing in on the 0-8 again, who's still not giving up, even though he's 13 laps down.
Something we're probably going to need to ask Paul about when we go off the air is if the league has a 110% rule.
Yeah. Actually, 16 laps down. I apologise. But yeah, I've got to give credit to Johnny Michalchuk, because even though he's 16 laps down, he's still staying in it and trying to get as many points as he can. So I don't blame him.
I agree.
Meanwhile, back at the front now, it's right there as we're 5 to go now. This is the battle for the win, ladies and gentlemen, as they're making their way through the tri-oval to complete lap 151. 4 to go.
Yeah, so far, the rest of the field is practically single file. Not many battles going on in the rest of the field. This is going to be practically the biggest battle unless something else happens, but it's going to be the battle for the win.
As here we go, here comes Johnson, bumper to bumper now as they go through 3 and 4.
And we are officially at the point where the next flag ends it.
Absolutely. No overtime in iRacing, no green flag checkers in iRacing, so green-white checkers in iRacing, so if anything happens now, which is about to, as Hatchell gets moved by Johnson. Johnson with a bump and run as they go onto the backstretch with 3 to go.
I honestly thought Hatchell was going to dump it into the wall there. What a save by Hatchell. He still is in close range and he can easily put the bumper back on Johnson and get this win.
Well, he's got to get the poo out of his own undershorts first, but that was you're right, that was an awesome save. But that's let Mitchell close right up on onto these two again.
It's going to be a 3-car battle, and with Mitchell seeing that, Mitchell might take an opportunity to try to get around Hatchell and fight Johnson for the win.
With our 2 to go, currently white flag going to be out this time across the stripe.
As they're making their way through 3 and 4, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the final lap of the Las Vegas round of the SOMO Racing League. This is where it all comes down to. The top 3 still right there, the 36, the 8 and the 18. Not sure if the 8's got enough speed there to catch the 36 as they're making their way down the backstretch now into turn 3, and using the good old chrome horn to his advantage, Braden Johnson brings it home and wins at Las Vegas.
Seth Hatchell hanging on for a second. Joe Mitchell able to come home in 3rd.
Shane Papala barely passed David Gameforth. Gameforth made a big mistake coming to the start-finish line. Shane Papala took advantage of it big time.
Adam Baker coming home in 4th, and Shane Papala, as you just rightly said, still in that top 5 away from David Gameforth at the line. Justin Rogers falling back to 7th as they complete their slowdown lap. Melvin holding on for 8th place, Jim Lock in 9th, and Chris Simard holding on for 10th place. So yeah, what a finish there, guys. Shall we get some interviews started?
Yeah, bear with me here. Looking for him. There There he is, hiding all the way down there. So, we're going to reach out first to our race winner, Mr. Braden Johnson. Braden, hell of a drive, my friend. Talk us through that last little... sorry?
Oh, no, you got a bit of echo. It's okay.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, what ended up happening was I got a little loose because I had my brake bias down too low, but I didn't mean to get into Seth. We've been close and racing and passing each other all night. I mean, I'm sweating and shaking, and I'm sorry it happened, but I didn't mean to make it to where they ended up getting loose. I'm happy he saved it, but man, that was some great racing from out there. Sweating.
Well, you know it's good racing when we're up here in the broadcast booth, and I can pretty much guarantee I speak for my two broadcast partners tonight that we were all white-knuckling our equipment to make sure that, you know, in respect for what you guys were doing out there.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of good racing out there, and I'm happy to be a part of this league, and it's good to bring home a win, and that way I don't got to worry until chase time, because you're planning on points in, especially in a competitive league like that. It makes you worry.
Absolutely, but you know, congratulations on getting the win tonight, punching your ticket into the chase. Talk us through your thoughts about next week's event.
Next week, I'm pretty excited. I just hope to keep doing what I'm doing and racing hard and having nice, clean racing with these guys out here. I mean, it's a blast. The adrenaline I just start shaking. I'm just so happy.
Fair enough. We will let you get back down into the EMP team room with the rest of your crew. Anybody else you want to thank tonight, sir?
You guys for coming in and broadcasting for us. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to go look back at it. I watch the broadcast. It's one of my favorite things to do after a race, and I'd like to thank my teammates for practicing with me. I'd like to thank Paul and all the admins for putting on a good league to run in and some nice, clean, hard, good racing.
All right, fair enough. We will catch you next week then, sir. Best of luck to you, and congratulations on the win tonight.
Yep, thank you very much.
The one name that I'm not seeing in TeamSpeak, and I've just been up and down the roster, is I'm not seeing Seth in the TeamSpeak room.
I believe he's just disconnected, so that might be a bit of a problem. So we may as well just bring down our third place driver, if he's there.
Absolutely. Let me just, come on. Go with me here. Gotta... Finally, can get it to work. Joining us now, rounding out your podium, Mr. Joe Mitchell. Joe, you had one impressive run tonight, sir, I must say.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was definitely fun and eventful, that's for sure.
So talk us through that second stint. We noticed early on that you were trying to do your best to try to save as much fuel as possible. What struck you with the idea to cut the motor off going into the corners?
Yeah, we ran here last night in the Xfinity car, and I was able to do it there. I didn't have to save quite as aggressively last night, so I knew I was definitely going to have to kill the engine. I was flipping the ignition switch going into the corners, running half to three-quarter throttle, losing what felt like, I don't know, miles and miles of track between me and the rest of the guys, but it was all worth it. It worked out. Caution didn't fly, so just happy to be able to do that and put myself in a good position later on.
Well, we spoke to Adam after segment number 2. He said he had about half a gallon left in the tank when it was time to bring it pit side. How much did you have left, if I can inquire?
I believe I had a little over a gallon and a half, something like that. I was good for about 3.5 more laps. So
Fair enough.
I actually saved a little too much.
Well,
sorry, Tony.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I have to admit, when we were talking about the strategy with you and Baker, when Baker was telling me that half a gallon he had left, it shocked me a bit, especially when I'm a good fuel saving driver. But man, especially when you said you got a full gallon and about 3.5 more laps, that baffles me, and I'm impressed. I really am impressed with that.
I definitely appreciate it. I honestly, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did it last night. I'm not a great fuel saver. I'm apparently a little better than I think, but I'm just glad that it all worked out. It's a huge chance to do that, because if the caution flies, I mean, you're back in 20th. So it's a race ender right there.
It's a race ender, but you made it work coming home on the podium. I have not taken a look at the schedule, I freely admit. Where are we next week? Do you happen to know?
Not off the top of my head.
I believe we're at Phoenix, aren't we? No?
Yes,
I
thank
think
you.
So.
So talk to us about your thoughts of going to Phoenix next week.
I really like that track. It's a lot of fun. We usually have some really great races there. I know there's a couple guys that are really good they're going to be up front all night long. They just have that place down. So I got to put some practice in this week, see if I can figure some things out to get some more long run speed to stay with those guys.
Well, Joe, I personally want to thank you for making me hungry during the entire broadcast with that Snickers paint scheme you had tonight. Anybody else you'd like to thank?
I'd just like to thank Paul, all the admins here at SOMO. It's an awesome place to race. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's just a great group of guys. My teammates at MB Motorsports, Adam, Seth, Ryan, Matt Talbert. He wasn't here tonight. But, yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on board, bringing these races on for everyone to see. And I'd like to thank my wife and son.
Well, if what we saw tonight is any indication how the rest of the season is going to go, we need to thank you guys for bringing us in to let us broadcast these races. Best of luck to you next week, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Phoenix. Yes,
sir. Thank you, and have a good night.
All right. So that's going to do that one.
Should we before I want to go, I want to get a word in with Paul Zota to get his
I was actually thinking the same thing.
Well,
so we're reaching out real quick right now to league owner Mr. Paul Zota. Paul, with the action that we just saw tonight on the track, on behalf of the entire BOFA Broadcasting Company, we cannot thank you enough for letting us bring the action to the fans tonight.
Oh man, we appreciate you guys coming on. It was good to be able to get it set up there with Sam and get it going. Guys were asking, we were looking for it. We had it, set, and then everything kind of fell apart at the last minute. But you guys came in on the clutch, and from what I'm seeing, man, it looks really good. Hopefully, we put on a good show for you.
Oh yeah.
I have to say that I'm normally not a tin top fan, but with the action that I saw tonight, you guys are quickly making me a convert.
That's good. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good drivers out here. Last couple nights we run Tuesdays in the trucks, Wednesdays Xfinity, and then tonight in the Cup. Man, we've had some long green flag runs and some really hard stage racing, and these guys are really putting it on, man. We got a lot of talented drivers out here. It's making it tough.
Yeah, only one legitimate caution. That must be something to pat yourselves on the back for.
Most definitely.
Yeah, especially with the amount of cars out here. And, from where I was sitting, I was in the back most of the night. But from where I was sitting, I seen hard racing going on all the way through. So, man, these guys definitely deserve attaboy. They're doing a great job. This season is going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. And, hopefully we can keep on putting on some more good races for you. Keep our sponsors happy. Grab a few more sponsors along the way. And keep things moving forward, man, heading towards the chase.
Well, that being said, we're looking forward to seeing you folks back here next Thursday evening. I believe we're at Phoenix, Paul, correct?
Yeah, it'll be Phoenix. Not really a track that I like, but there's a lot of guys here that, man, it just fits right into their house. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All right. So I think that's going to about do it. Anybody else got anything else they want to share?
No. Let's wrap things up and get the results on the go, shall we?
Well, you have been watching a presentation of the SOMO Racing League, proudly sponsored by Portside Jaguar Land Rover in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. They are a full-service auto repair center focusing on personalized and quality service to every customer. Their technicians are more than qualified to work on any type of vehicle, from your brand new Jaguar to your old comfortable Ford. So if you are in the Mount Pleasant area, don't forget to stop by Portside Automotive for all your repair needs.
Now, before we sign off for the night, let's go through our final results of the night. Bringing home the win in the 36 after some very close racing at the end and very exciting racing, which you'll probably look back on later on. Braden Johnson coming home with the win. Seth Hatchell, unlucky for him, he comes home in second place. Joe Mitchell using his fuel strategy to come home in third. Adam Baker bouncing back to fourth place. Shane Pipala stealing that fifth place and the top five away from David Gainforth, who came home in sixth. Seventh was Justin Rogers. Eighth, Andrew Melvin. Ninth, Jim Locking. And rounding out the top 10 was Chris Simard. Tony, do you want to carry on?
Sure. Coming home in 11th spot, you had Mr. Brian Neff, Mr. Paul Zoda coming home in 12th. 13 was going to Aaron Mulroney Jr. Kurt Davidson coming home in the number 14 spot, with 15th going to Ron Holyfield. Tyler Puff coming home in Holyfield being the last car scored on the lead lap. Tyler Puff, first car one lap down, coming home in 16th. Lupe Gonzalez in 17th. Brad Hicks in 18th. 19th going to Len McNeese, with 20th going to Keith Mayato.
Okay, let's go around for the rest of the field. Paul Cohen 21st, Tom Clayton 22nd, 23rd was Johnny McAltrick, 24th was Ryan Gemmell, 25th Jeff Sharp, Jeffrey Ford was 26th, 27th was Jay Dubuque, 28th was Jeff Glockner, and not taking the start was Sean Lejeune. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a presentation of this SOMO Racing League race, live from Las Vegas. Some exciting...
The Portside Jaguar Land Rover Cup Series.
Yeah, I'll get that right eventually. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bid you a good night now as we head away to Phoenix now. We've got some more action coming to you tomorrow night. And we will wish you a good night.